Hi guys, it's Miss Catalano here, going to be demoing the split stitch. This is what your sample will look like. It is on the pink fabric and I outlined the letter J. All of you will be doing the same letter for now as your sample. It's the letter J. So you're going to make a straight line and do a curve. You will not be adding the top. So I have my fabric, my needle and thread, and I will be showing you the split stitch. Make sure that when you thread your needle that the one end is shorter than the other and that you tied your knot at the end. Okay. So to start our split stitch, you're going to put the needle behind the fabric and get a starting point. So you will be starting at the top of the letter J. So poke your needle through the top like this. Then when you do that, you will be pulling it all the way through until the knot hits the back of the fabric. So when you do that, make sure you turn it over to see that your knot stopped the fabric. And you pull it all the way through. When you pull, you are going to hold the end of the needle. So you will be holding this part of the needle with your two fingers. After you have done that, you're going to flip it over. Have the J facing away from you, and you're going to move up a 1/4 inch. If you need to measure it out, you could use a hem gauge. If not, you could use your eyes, use your best judgment. You're going to go all the way down and pull. Okay, see I have my nice line there? Perfect. Now, why it's called the split stitch is because you're actually going to be splitting the stitch in half. So you're going to go to the back of the fabric and find the middle of the stitch. So you want to make sure that you have at least 2 or 3 strands of thread on each side of the needle. So you see like I have it over here? Got right in the middle. You're going to poke it all the way through and pull out. That is one stitch. Now we go on to the next one. So we're all the way up. We're going to go down, pull it through the bottom, about a 1/4 inch. Make sure it's tight enough, but you don't want it too tight. Go through the middle. Pull. Now do the next one. 1/4 inch, down. Make sure you pull all the way through. And you're gonna go into the middle. And over a 1/4 inch. And through the middle again, and up. So you want your stitch to be nice and straight, and this is what it should look like when you are starting. Finished? Finished up the straight line of the J, and we're now on to the curved part. For this part, you are going to be making the stitches about an 1/8 of an inch. We just did a 1/4 of an inch, and you're going to be making it an 1/8 of an inch now. So that's even smaller. So you're going to do this because if you make it too long, it will go above the marking, and we don't want that. We want to stay on the marking. So you're going to start going through the fabric to the back, pull, and you could see already that my stitch is smaller than the other ones. And you're going to find the middle, pull up. You're going to be curving your fabric as you go. Make sure it is smaller because you want to stay on your markings. Make sure you pull all the way up and you pull all the way down. Sewing takes patience, and it's important to be patient. Also, when you're sewing, just stop and check the back side of your stitch. This will see if you had made any mistakes, if you went through the same hole, and it will keep it neat and clean. So seeing the back of your stitch is also good to do while you are sewing. I have the finished J here. You can notice that my stitches were bigger on this side. Then as I do the curve, it becomes smaller, and then I got bigger as we got to the straight edge again. So now we have to finish and tie the knot. So you're going to take your needle. You're going to be at the last stitch, and you're going to go down inside the last stitch. So you see how close I got to the last stitch? That's how close you want to be. Stick your needle in, turn it over, and pull it all the way through. So now your needle should be on the back side of the fabric. So after coming to the back, you're going to pick up one thread of fabric. So you want one little tiny thread around that needle. What you're going to do is pull the needle through that little hole. You want to make sure that you have a big enough loop so that you could put the needle through it. This is going to be making your knot. So you're going to be taking the needle through that hoop that you made, pull it, and tug. You're going to do this twice to make a secure knot. Pick up a piece of fabric, pull the needle through, make sure to have one end of the thread through, and you want to make a loop. See my loop? Put your needle through the loop and pull. And when you are done with your knot, you're going to take your shears and cut it. Now you see, I have my finished sample. I have the 1/4 inch straight down, 1/8 of an inch on the curve, and back to a 1/4 inch for the straight part. I have my secured knots, and that's the J sample.